So I've been using the Epson EcoTank ET-8550 for about a month and a half. I got this printer as a test because I'm a full-time artist and primarily I use their higher grade Surecolor line, the pigment-based fine art printers to make my art prints. But I wanted to test out this printer. It's a good starter printer for most artists because it's much more affordable than the P900 or the P800, which are the other two printers that I use often in my business. But there are some downsides to this printer. So in this video, I'm going to go over all the positives and all the negatives so that way you can know what you are getting into if you purchase one of these to make art prints with. It comes with a quick start guide to set it up, and I really like this. It's super handy and convenient. This is what all of Epson printers come with, and so I like this. I just followed the instructions and it was very easy to set up. But one of the things that I found as a downside to this is just how much you have to do when you set it up. I wanted to show you guys all these things. You have to go through this because you want everything to be aligned and all the prints to turn out good. So you got to go through sheets and sheets of these things that it has to do to align, and you got to pick out all these numbers of the best alignment and program it in there. And it took quite a long time actually compared to the setup of their more high grade printers, because those are mostly just plug and play. I mean, they come with everything all aligned. So yeah, you have to do quite a bit of print head alignments, and then of course you need to run a color check once you install the ink, but that's not that big of a deal. Most printers have you do that. The other thing that I didn't really like about setting up this printer so much was filling the ink. Now it's not hard to do. It was a little intimidating at first because you see I've got it open now, and what you do is you flip open these and then you basically take the top off and pour it in there and it's good to go. But filling the EcoTank printer does take about twice as long when you're setting it up than it does when you're just using the ink cartridges that you get on most other printers and you just plug them in there and put them in their spaces, because you have to wait for the bottle to fill its little compartment down here. But all in all, it's not that hard, and it's much more affordable to use this EcoTank type of ink than it is the cartridges. So it does save you money. The next negative of this machine that I want to tell you about is the smell. Now, some people might not tell that there's much of a smell from the ink, but for me, I'm very sensitive to things. And so I found this printer to be particularly bad. I mean, the smell was stronger from the ink than any of the other printers that I've ever had, like in my whole life. And I've used a lot of different fine art printers. It's just particularly smelly. And when you open it up after you've used it a while, you open it up to refill it with ink, you're gonna smell like a lot of that ink fume smell coming out of it. And for me, it was just awful. I have to have the window open and my ceiling fan running because it's just really gross. But other people might not have that bad of a reaction to it. But it's just something to know going into it. If you're sensitive to smells or sensitive to chemicals, then I don't know, maybe some of the other printers are a little bit better. I think it possibly has to do with the way that you're filling up the tanks manually and everything. There maybe just more ink outgassing. I don't know, that's just a guess in my opinion, because the cartridge type ink printers don't smell this bad. I've printed a lot of different things with this printer. I've made art prints like these on glossy paper. I've also made postcards where I printed on the fronts and backs. And I've made thank you cards to make my packaging look good when I mail things out. I've also printed on higher end fine art papers. This is a Platinum Barita, a 300 GSM, and this is a smooth cotton 300 GSM paper from PhotoSpeed. Both of these were PhotoSpeed professional fine art printing papers. I think I've printed around 300 prints so far in this machine, and I've learned a lot along the way. And the first thing is, I think the best types of papers to use in this printer are the gloss or luster papers. It's because the ET-8550 comes with only a few ICC printer profiles. So it comes with ones that work really well on gloss paper. And the matte printer profiles, when you print on them with matte paper, is not going to look very good, at least in my opinion. It doesn't look as good as the pigment fine art prints. The colors aren't as bold and the blacks aren't as deep. That said, if you want to print on the fine art papers that are matte, like this smooth cotton rag, you can do it if you use the Velvet Fine Art ICC profile for this printer. But the downside with doing that is that you have to print on really thick papers they're often very expensive. Because if you don't do this, and let's say you put a larger sheet of the thinner matte paper in there, and then you are using the velvet fine art setting, it's going to ripple up the paper because it's laying down so much ink. And that's why this ICC profile, although it looks amazing when you're printing on the matte papers, it's really only useful for the thick matte papers. And the other downside to using the thick matte papers is that oftentimes if they are like 300 GSM super thick, which we all want to make our art prints with, right? Because they look nice. Well, the thing is that you're going to get unsightly lines most of the time. At least I did in all of my experiments when using this printer. And so the happy medium here, if you absolutely must use matte paper, is this ultra premium presentation paper matte, because it's just barely thick enough so that way you can use the velvet fine art settings in this printer without it rippling up the paper too badly. All of that said, in my opinion, if you want to save yourself a lot of headaches by trying to make sure that your paper doesn't get rippled up or doesn't have lines on the back, just print with the glossy photo paper in this machine, because it's going to look good and you're probably going to have a lot less problems. At least I did in all of my testing. One thing I really love about this printer is being able to print just normal things that I need for my business, like cards to put in my packaging whenever I ship out an order, or invoices for customers. The ink is so cheap. I've printed, like I said, around 300 different prints, maybe 350 or more with this printer, and I've still only used about half of the ink that it came with. So this ink goes a long way. This means that if you are on a budget and you're trying to print a lot of different things, let's say you want to make postcards and you want to make flyers and you want to make art prints, you want to have the flexibility to do all of that in one machine, and you don't have a lot of money, then this printer is definitely one to consider, even though there are some drawbacks. Another thing to consider is printing speed, because the 8550 does not print as fast as I personally would need it to in my business when I'm making prints in a production run. Now, I know this printer is not meant for production, it's really meant for home office use, but oftentimes with the Epson P900 and P800, I will use those to make 400 or 500 prints in a single day, like running both of them at the same time. But this printer, the 8550, it's not quite as fast as either of those printers. I think it's about 1.5 times slower than the P900 and about twice as slow as the P800. There are multiple ways to load paper. You can load it in this top feeder tray, but there's also this bottom tray down here where you can load paper in it. Now, what I like about the bottom tray is that I can use this for like my copy paper, and I can just leave a stack of copy paper in there. And then whenever I want to make a photo paper print, I can load the photo paper in the top. And I found this to be super convenient because sometimes in my business, I just need to make copies and things on normal paper. I don't always need to have a high-end printer. And that's one of the things I love about this printer that I really like better than my other more higher grade printers, is that the ink on them is more expensive, and it's all so expensive to operate that every time I ever have to run just like a regular copy print, like let's say I need to print something out, like an invoice for my business, for example, if I use one of my pigment printers on that, I'm like, oh, I just wasted money on ink on that. But this printer, the ink is so affordable that it's great. Like I can run all the copies and print out invoices and stuff for customers. And so I love the versatility of this machine. You can get relatively good quality looking prints, and you can print stuff like your invoices for all affordable prices. And that's why I think for an intro printer for an artist, this is a good all-around printer. In addition to those two places to load paper, there's actually a rear location on the very back of the printer. So not this top part, but all the way on the back. So if you are loading really thick papers, you can try loading them through there. I've also heard a lot of people online saying that they're experiencing sheet feeder issues with the Epson 8550. And I'm happy to report that in all of my use, nothing has ever gotten jammed up or had any type of sheet feeder issues, which is amazing. Still, one of the downsides to having prints that you make, I mean, they look really nice, right? They're not quite as nice looking as the ones on the pigment printers, but these are really good. And I would say these are a B+ on the pigment printers are an A+, but still very good quality. Customers would be happy with these prints. But one of the downsides is that these are going to fade much quicker than the pigment-based prints, especially if a person hangs these in the sunlight, and especially even more so if they are unframed. Make sure to check the link in the description because I have a video down there if you want to learn more about how long these prints are likely to last without fading when hanging on a person's wall in their home, because it's super important to know all of this going into it. So you don't want to make prints and then tell customers, let's say that they're giclée and they're archival and they're going to last for 100 years if you are printing with this printer, because it's very much likely that they're not going to last that long. But another thing to keep in mind is the size of prints that you can make with this printer, because this is one of the limitations that for me personally, if I were buying this as a professional artist and I do this, I need to make lots of prints. This is one of the things that would definitely stop me from buying it, is that the biggest size that you can print on it is a 13-inch wide. So like 13 by 19-inch photos. And in my business, I get a lot of customers who want to order 16 by 20-inch prints. And if I could only print up to 13 by 19 inches in size, I would be losing quite a lot of print sales from that. And I would have to either be outsourcing those from print on demand or something, and I'd be losing money on that because you make so much more profit if you're making the prints yourself than if you're outsourcing them. And that's why in my business, I like to use this Epson Surecolor P900 right here, because it prints up to 17 by 22 inches wide, and it has the option to put a roll sheet feeder on the back of it. So you can actually put rolls of paper in here. So that means that you could print panoramas that are very long. You can also print on rolls of canvas, which will save you a lot of money rather than buying sheets of canvas to print on. So this printer, because of its capabilities of all the different sizes, I find personally that it really outweighs the advantages of saving money on ink that the other printer has. Also, these prints are going to last the longest that any prints that they make in the industry can last. So these are considered archival giclée prints, and you can sell those for more money and make more profit in your business. If you'd like more information about either one of these printers, I have links to them in the description. I really hope this video helped. If you'd like to learn more about making prints with the Epson 8550, I have a great video. It shows you exactly how to make your first print. And if you're thinking about buying this printer, you might want to go ahead and watch that too, so you'll just know what you're getting yourself into with making prints with this printer. But it's actually very easy to use to make prints. So check out that video here. See you next time.